morning and a very warm welcome. You're watching Janata Television and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant Dhakal. The top stories first. Coronavirus infection crosses 206,000 mark in Nepal. Active cases drops to 37,000. Congress party objects listing it as Indian party in Global Times, draws the government's attention to assess the border situation. Communication Minister commits to implement minimum wage policy, says he is working to solve other underlying problems. Italy extends red zone areas as cities witnesses sharp spike in coronavirus, authorities warn of health system collapse. And UK government to decide the future of football, potential returns of fans in the stadium in the agenda. And now the news in detail. The government has confirmed 2,111 new cases of coronavirus across the country during the latest rounds of tests. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, the total caseload of coronavirus in the country has now climbed to 206,353, while the number of active cases has decreased to an overnight 37,912 from 38,461. Meanwhile, the death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 1,202 across the country, with a confirmation of 13 more fatalities yesterday. So far, 168,129 patients infected by coronavirus have recovered from the disease in Nepal. Nepal is currently among the top 34 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The second day of Tihar is dedicated to the celebration of dogs. This day is also called Narak Chaturdashi according to the lunar calendar. Today, the scriptures talk about waking up early to bathe in holy water and allow a lighted oil lamp to flow in the river atop a sal tree leaf. The belief is that this action will help ease the process of death when it arrives. According to the Tithi in lunar calendar, the celebration of Lakshmi Puja will also take place today evening instead of tomorrow. The dog is considered as the gatekeeper of the god of death, Yamaraj's palace. Today, the dog is worshipped and fed with delicious food as an ode to the value it possesses during the Tihar festivities. The dog is considered as the man's best friend and has been living domesticated with the people for over thousands of years. In the evening, the goddess of wealth, goddess Lakshmi, will be worshipped with huge fanfare among the people. However, all celebrations are subdued this year due to the effect of the coronavirus pandemic. The meeting of the Secretariat of the ruling NCP has concluded with a decision to convene another meeting on November 19th. A meeting of the Secretariat held at the Prime Minister's residence in Balwatar has decided to convene another meeting on November 19 and make an agenda for discussion. Spokesperson Narankaji Shrestha said that the meeting ended with the conclusion of discussing the crisis, problems and solutions in the party. Similarly, in yesterday's meeting, Executive Chairman Pushpa Kamal Dahal presented a political report on the crisis in the party. Shrestha informed that the inter-party directive issued after the Standing Committee meeting was also distributed for the study. The meeting also discussed Dahal's earlier request to convene a Secretariat meeting and a written letter submitted by a majority of members of the Secretariat. In the next meeting, discussions will be held on the issues presented today: protection of party unity, fulfillment of historic responsibilities before the party and the government, and moving forward. Also, issues related to Karnali and Parsa incidents will also be discussed. The Central Working Committee meeting of Nepali Congress has condemned Chinese tabloid Global Times, the mouthpiece of Chinese government, for calling Nepali Congress an Indian party. Informing about the decisions taken by the meeting Congress's Joint General Secretary Dr. Prakash Sharan Mahat said Nepali Congress has decided to condemn the official mouthpiece of Chinese government, the Global Times, as it tagged Nepali Congress as an Indian party because of the latter's report regarding the Chinese encroachment at Humla border. Nepali Congress has always maintained friendly relations with China and has immense respect for its neighbor. However, Nepali Congress will speak against not only China but any other country in case they attack the national integrity and sovereignty of Nepal, Dr. Mahat added. In other contexts, the meeting has also decided to appoint Sunil Bahadur Thapa as party's Joint General Secretary. Minister for Communication and Technology Parvat Gurung has expressed firm determination to implement minimum wage policy in all media houses across the country. Speaking with the office bearers of Small Investment Media's Welfare and Benefit Committee under Federation of Nepali Journalists, Minister Gurung affirmed his stance on minimum wage policy. Mr. Gurung reiterated he has been working to solve the underlying problems existing in Nepali media houses ever since he was handed over the responsibility of the Communication Ministry. The government will bear all expenses for the testing and treatment of journalists infected with the COVID-19 disease, Minister Gurung announced. FNJ has requested Minister Gurung to make available the remuneration of journalists who have been sacked by different media houses and provide them relief during the crisis. FNJ has also demanded stern action against such media houses who have been unlawfully firing employees. FNJ has also submitted a 13-point memorandum demanding an announcement of special COVID package for journalists above 60 years and for those who have been working in the field for more than 25 years. And now the news from the economic front. The Association of Airlines Operators of Nepal has stated that it has drawn serious attention to the public news that there will be a lockdown after Chhath. The association has drawn the attention of the concerned bodies that the exercise of weakening the economy, which is on the path of some improvement due to the last 6 months, is not right and the concerned authorities should bear some responsibilities. Urging not to forget the fact that the number of infected people has increased even in the midst of lockdown, the association said that the world should follow the efforts to control corona infection by adopting safe and secure measures. Stating that most of the infected are recovering within 2 weeks and returning home, the association suggested focusing on infrastructure and manpower mobilization to reduce the possible death rate from coronavirus. According to the Opinion Association, the Ministry of Tourism has already started internal activities from November 20th, and the travel and trekking companies have already confirmed the holiday packages and bookings. Expressing dissatisfaction with the decision of anyone to lock down, the association has pointed out the need to adopt health security standards seriously. Welcome back, and now the international news. With the arrival of winter, Italy has been once again crippled by the coronavirus infections soaring higher throughout the country. Italy has added more regions to its coronavirus risk red zones as infection rate hit a new daily record. Areas such as Campania and Tuscany are set to join other places under stern lockdown starting Sunday. BBC has quoted authorities in Campania, which includes Naples, have warned that the health system there is close to collapse. Italy yesterday confirmed an alarming 40,902 new infections, its highest ever daily total. Italy had also passed the 1 million mark earlier this week, and there have been more than 44,000 deaths. BBC has also cited the government's coronavirus consultant, Walter Ricciardi, who informed the reporters that the country has 2 to 3 weeks to decide whether to impose a new national lockdown. Earlier this year, Italy became the epicenter of the pandemic in Europe, but brought its outbreak under control with a tough national lockdown. The second wave of coronavirus has forced many European nations to impose new restrictions, including the UK and France. French prosecutors have suspected the offenders of Nice church attack and beheading of a teacher in western suburbs of Paris could be connected. According to Reuters, the man suspected of knifing to death 3 people in a church in the French city of Nice had on his telephone pictures of the man who beheaded a middle school teacher near Paris on October 16th last month. Police have discovered pictures on the phone of 21-year-old Tunisian Brahim al-Aoussaoui, who got shot and wounded in police firing during the October 29th attack, could point to a shared motive behind the 2 attacks. Reuters have cited anti-terrorist prosecutors who said in their media statement that an examination of Aoussaoui's mobile phone had also revealed images linked to the Islamic State group. The prosecutors, however, refused to disclose what they were or how they were linked to the terrorist group. The middle school teacher, Samuel Paty, had been assassinated by a young man of Chechen origin for showing students a caricature of the Prophet Muhammad in a civics class. The attacker was shot dead. You're watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. The UK government is to host a landmark virtual summit on the future of English football on Tuesday to discuss a number of issues facing the game. The potential return of fans to grounds in England, the reform of governance and finances, equality and diversity, and the women's game will be discussed. A group of leaders and stakeholders from across the sport have been invited to participate. Culture Secretary Oliver Dowden will lead the talks. They are designed to bring football's various authorities closer together after a period of tension. The heads of the Football Association, Premier League, English Football League, National League, Professional Footballers Association and Kick It Out have all been invited, along with leaders from the women's game and fans' representatives. There have been weeks of wrangling between Premier League and EFL over a rescue package, and the FA is searching for a new chair after Greg Clark resigned over offensive comments made in front of a parliamentary committee earlier this week. There has also been division between the football authorities over the future structure of the game since the leak of the project Big Picture proposal in October. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Coronavirus infection crosses 206,000 mark in Nepal. Active cases drops to 37,000. Congress party objects listing it as Indian party in Global Times, draws the government's attention to assess the border situation. Communication Minister commits to implement minimum wage policy, says he is working to solve other underlying problems. Italy extends red zone areas as cities witness sharp spike in coronavirus. Authorities warn of health system collapse. And UK government to decide the future of football, potential return of fans to the stadium in the agenda. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.